A cricket bat.
No, got one for Christmas.
Rollerblades.
Not into that, he's much too clumsy.
A bike. Every kid needs a bike.
No, you couldn't post a bike.
Oh, what about giving him some money? You can choose his own birthday present.
So out of touch, they grow up so quickly.
How old are they again?
Well, Maddie's 11, Emma's 7, and Josh is going to turn 5.
I bet the best present of all would be if they would come up and stay with their dad.
Yeah, it's been a bit difficult. You know how PJ is.
Well, that might give you a good reason to want to get your own place.
Mount Thomas Station to Mount Thomas 208.
Mount Thomas 208, go ahead.
Doyle, we've had a report from a Mrs. Ritchie in Murray Street. Her 2 boys, aged 11 and 12, are missing. Both boys are foster children, so
there could be cause for alarm.
Received that. We're right around the corner from Murray Street now. We'll check the vicinity.
Mount Thomas Station back on channel.
You want to check that side?
Yep.
There they are.
Got him.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have any authority to be taking those children anywhere?
Just the authority of a concerned citizen, Herbert
Could you
Fisher.
please step away from the boys?
Okay, come over here, off the road. Right, and do you boys live in Murray Street with Mrs. Ritchie?
Yep.
Right, Mr. Fisher, these boys have been reported as missing. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to come down to the station and answer some questions for us.
Trampled my fuchsias and violets. Decimated my Ile-de-France tulips.
Look, Mrs. Ritchie thought that the boys had been kidnapped.
Mr. Fisher, you can't just go around arresting minors when the mood takes you.
Well, what do you call this?
The boys deny any wrongdoing.
What about the graffiti and the upturned rubbish bins and Mr. Horowitz's broken bottles?
I'm well aware that there's been some trouble in Murray Street, and we're as anxious to catch the culprits as you are.
There wasn't any trouble until Maureen Ritchie took those 2 young hoodlums on. They come from shocking backgrounds. The whole street's talking.
Look, Mr. Fisher, we can't lay charges on the strength of some damaged tulips and a whole lot of neighbourhood gossip.
Little criminals grow into being big criminals. Give them a taste of life behind bars. Nip it in the bud, I say.
Maybe a day in the lockup would do him some good, make him see some sense.
That generation sees things differently. It used to be quite common for people to bring their kids in for a bit of discipline.
And you approve, do you?
I didn't say that.
Excuse me, boss, I've just been wondering if you've had any thoughts about appointing a new acting sergeant now that we need a replacement.
Nice try, Doyle.
What do you mean, nice try? I'm first in line, aren't I?
Well, I don't...
Yeah, no, I haven't got seniority.
And
have
I have local knowledge.
Right, that's enough, both of you. I haven't had time to make any
And
decision
when will
as
you
yet.
have some time
Don't push
to-
it, Doyle. When I'm ready.
Oh, you're all right. God, I've been worried sick. He didn't hurt them, Mum.
No, nothing like that.
Mrs. Ritchie, I'm sorry I've had cause for alarm, but as you can see, they're
You
fine.
mean-spirited, self-centred old man.
Sticks and stones, Mrs. Ritchie, sticks and stones.
You have had it in for my boys from the word go, haven't you? Always trying to pin the blame on them for something, always trying to cause trouble.
Me cause trouble?
All
You
right,
take
that's
that back.
enough. Thank you. Cooper, show Mr. Fisher back to the interview room and stay with him.
I only wanted a cup of tea.
Oh, for heaven's sake, go and make him a cup of tea, would you please, McKinley?
And put a fistful of rat poison in it.
Right. I've changed my mind. I want to lay charges.
Mr. Fisher?
Mrs. Ritchie, one more word.
Sorry. Mum. Look, you know, I'm sorry. It's just that it's been a bit of a battle from the start.
How long have you had the boys?
6 months. Yeah, this little one too. They're all from the same family, poor little lads. Been pushed around from one family to another. Now they're permanent care kids.
And the other girl?
Kemish is mine. Joe's mine.
4 kids must be quite a handful.
Oh, Joe and I don't have any trouble with the kids. It's Herbert Fisher. A holy paper blows across the street and he's banging on my doorstep complaining that Jason and Scott are littering.
It seems that all the trouble in Murray Street started when you took the boys in.
It's not my kids, OK? They're good as gold.
You haven't had any problems?
Oh, look, I'm not going to deny that we didn't have a shaky start. What do you expect drug addicts as parents? But all any kid needs to shine is a stable home life and a bit of love, you know? And Herbert Fisher has his way. They won't even get that.
Why?
All this carry on. He's already complained to Human Services about me. Says I'm not fit to care for them.
Well, if we find that Scott and Jason are the cause of all the trouble, it will become a police matter.
I am the last chance these kids have got. Look, if they take them away from me, they could be split up.
Maybe you and Mr. Fisher should sit down together and see if you can sort something out.
He won't listen to me. Look, tell him I'll pay for the tulips. Tell him the boys will apologise. Tell him I'll get down on my bloody hands and knees and kiss his feet.
Look, the boys have been officially cautioned. Mrs. Ritchie is prepared to recompense you for damages. To take more of your time, to go to court and give these boys a criminal record is more trouble than your tulips are worth, surely.
Well, what about the other matters?
Look, there's no proof either way that the boys were involved, and beating them over the head with a stick isn't going to help resolve matters.
Then what is?
Patience, tolerance, sympathy, giving them a fair go.
There won't be any more trouble in Herbert, I promise.
Oh, somehow I doubt that's a promise you can keep, Mrs. Ritchie.
Jason, Scott, cut it out. Look, thanks very much for...
Just keep them out of Mr. Fisher's garden, that's...
Yeah,
that'll
well,
be
that's
thanks
a
enough.
pupil-free day today. That's, half the problem. Back at school tomorrow. Watch it, will you?
Drop on your head.
Mum, can we go now? Yes, we can go, love. Look, thank you both very much.
That's fair. Do you want to lift it all?
No, the car's out the front.
Okay. See you, Scotty. Car in the same, mate.
I'd like to be able to say all's well that ends well.
Oh, no, you've got to hand it to her. I mean, taking on 3 extra kids like that, I mean, it's pretty hard work.
All right, time for a sugar rush.
Brown owl, That's very good of you, Doyle.
Nothing but the best.
Bribery's not going to get you promoted, though, Doyle.
I know, we'll see.
Well, I suppose this is as good a time as any to make an announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. It's performance assessment time again, I'd say.
No, it's even worse than that.
Thomas, please come from McKinley speaking.
I've booked the photographer. 2 o'clock today. And this time we're going to go through with it if I have to nail all your flat feet to the floor.
Oh, who are you saying got flat feet? And thanks for giving us a warning.
Well, anybody who feels they need to nick off and spruce up is quite welcome to do so, provided they promise they'll be back by 2.
Photographer.
For publicity, meet your friendly local Mr. Plods, that sort of
People
stuff.
like to put names to faces, don't they,
What
Bob?
he's talking about, the kids, they'll put the moustaches, we'll have horns, it'll be a riot.
Now, why don't you get Josh a camera for his birthday?
At 5 years of age?
Bye. More trouble in Murray Street. Mrs. Snedden's car has been vandalised.
Ask me, it was those 2.
Well, thank you very much for your help, Mrs. Snedden. We'll be in touch. You should talk to Maureen about this.
Look, the boys were at the station when they got
And you heard what she said. It could have happened any time since Monday. The boys aren't in the clear.
But just because she told them off for swearing doesn't mean that the boys have got it in for
She
her.
saw them lurking outside a place yesterday.
Lurking? Sounds like Fisher's been in her ear, if you ask me.
Ben, I don't want to upset things for these kids any more than you do, but we just can't afford to have personal feelings on this job.
Oh, you don't want to believe what Elsie says. She and Fisher are as thick as thieves.
So remember the boys yesterday?
They're at school, of course. Kim, love, that's the baby. Can you go and see to her, please?
Dad!
G'day, sweetheart. Mwah. I had half an hour up my sleeve, so I thought I'd come and fix that leaky gutter for you.
Why? It's been leaking for the last 10 years.
Oh, well, better late than never, eh? Hey. G'day.
Now is not a good time, all right?
Oh, obviously. Scott and Jason been up to the old tricks again?
Look, I don't want you sloping around here every 5 minutes, OK? When I want a handyman, I'll look one up in the Yellow Pages.
Well, if you want to pay for something that I can do for you for free, you be my guest. Goodbye, sweetheart. Jeez.
Why do you always have to be so mean to him?
Would you go and look at the baby, please? I don't want to ask you again.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Ritchie.
Thanks. Can you take this?
Here comes Constable.
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie, would
Take the ball, eh?
you mind if we had a little chat?
What's the problem?
Down the station would be better.
That's the problem? I'll see you down there.
He gets it away.
Oh! That's definitely me.
Mr. Ritchie, how long have you and Mrs. Ritchie been separated for?
About 2 months now?
And Human Services been notified?
Well, it's Maureen's baby, so to speak. You'd have to ask her.
Yeah, we will. Now, the trouble in Murray Street, you know anything about that?
Yeah, heard a few rumours. Got a few clients in Murray Street.
Herbert Fisher included?
Yep, been mowing his lawn since a year dot.
Right, so you'd know that he's blaming Jason and Scott.
Yeah, and he wouldn't be the only one. Look, I know it's not their fault, drug addicts for parents and all that. But just the same, you'd think they'd know what a good wicket they were on with Moore and me.
So you're claiming that the boys stole from you?
Not claiming it, mate. It's a fact. They'd steal anything that wasn't nailed down. Food, tools, jewellery. Maureen even had to start hiding a purse eventually.
And so that's why you left her to cope with bringing up 4 children on her own, is it?
Then
That's part of the reason. But I'll be honest with you, I never wanted those kids in the first place.
So why go along with it, mate?
Maureen had her heart set on it. With Kim all but grown up, she seemed to need something.
yeah, well, she didn't want to get a job, or
There's only one job Maureen's ever been interested in. And that's full-time motherhood.
and the stealing. You think that's stopped now?
Maureen says so. But look, Maureen's going to say anything, and she's going to do anything to hang on to those kids.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ritchie.
It doesn't mean they're responsible for the vandalism.
Hell of a coincidence, and as PJ would say, there is no such thing as coincidence in good police work.
Speaking of PJ, where is he?
Oh, boss, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. He's gone over to St David's to work on the Harris case with CIB.
Well, maybe we should cancel the photographer then. I mean, Adam's going to be away all day too.
I thought he went to the dentist.
Yeah, he did, but he needs to have a root canal or
Yeah,
something.
and Ben and I really should get back over to Murray Street. It sounds like there's a few things that Mrs. Ritchie forgot to tell us about.
It sounds like you should contact Human Services as
Yeah,
well.
I'll handle that, and I'll put in a good word for her, too. I'm sure, even given all the facts, they're not going to want to take those kids out of a good home.
Don't you think you're taking this case a little bit too much to heart?
Listen, if they keep moving those kids around all the time, we're the ones who are going to have to deal with the consequences later, aren't we?
Yes, we'll just try and temper that enthusiasm with a little objectivity.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, do you want me to call Richard Elliott and reschedule that photo?
Don't tell me you've got an urgent appointment to rush off to as well, McKinley.
Well, would you believe me if I said I needed a haircut?
What happened to the toy camera?
No, it's not for Josh, it's for Jason and Scott. Somehow I feel kind of responsible for what happened to that last one of these.
Ben, the boss is right. It doesn't pay to get personally involved.
I know.
And what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to get you to drive me there so I can give it to him. What's going on there?
That's not exactly a friendly neighbourhood get-together.
Turn your pocket.
Mum! Mum! Stop it! Mum!
I think I'll take that broom from you, thank you very much.
I warned you what would happen if you laid hand on my boys again.
All right, now, what is going on here? What's the problem, hey?
I was robbed by them. $250. And this time, I can prove it. I want that woman
Well,
charged.
just follow me in, Mr. Fisher.
You just think you're lucky stars, Herbert
Listen,
Fisher.
I was the one who raised
That's
that.
enough, both of you. You'll both have plenty of time to tell your sides of the story later.
Mrs. Ritchie, would you mind going into the interview room with Jason, please? No, Scott, you stay here with Kim.
Yeah, look, I'll take Ginny if you like.
So what is the story?
Well, look, there's no sign of forced entry and no prints that we could find.
Mr. Fisher says that he can prove the boys are guilty, and he's got no reason to lie, has he?
If you left the house unlocked, it wasn't very wise to leave that much money lying around, was it?
I didn't leave it lying around. It was in a brown envelope hidden in the sideboard, and I locked up when I left. And even if I did forget, well, a person ought to have the right to go outside his front door for 5 minutes without being robbed by a couple of kids.
You're absolutely sure it was the kids, eh?
I told you. I saw them.
Right, and this was just before Senior Constable Doyle and I arrived, was it?
That's right.
OK, then, how do you explain the fact that neither of the boys still had the money on them?
Well, they must have hidden it somewhere.
No, wait a second. You said that you came back from the milk bar, you saw the boys running out of the house, and then you grabbed them. When did they have time to hide the money?
Now, wait a minute. I didn't say that I saw them leaving the house.
Mr. Fisher, at what point exactly did you see the boys?
Well, they were hanging around out front when I came back. I went in, the door was open, the cash gone. I put 2 and 2 together, I grabbed the kids. Well, they'd had plenty of time to get rid of the evidence.
Jason, do you know anything about Herbert Fisher's money?
No.
You didn't go into his house when he went down the shop?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was in the front yard the whole time.
Interview suspended at 2:40 p.m. for Senior Constable Doyle to make further inquiries. Mrs. Ritchie, you're here as an independent person. Jason should answer the questions.
And he's told you he didn't go in there. You should believe him.
Do you mind waiting outside, please? Dash. Scope Constable McKinley. Mrs. Ritchie. Are you sure that you saw the boys at the time in question?
Yes. Oh, well, look, they might have been playing around the back some of the time.
Right, so you can't swear that they didn't go next door?
I saw Herbert Fisher leave his house and I saw him come back with his shopping. Don't you think I would have noticed if the boys had gone over there?
Mr. Fisher claims that he saw the boys.
Yeah, well, he's lying.
Well, why would he do that?
Oh, that's obvious, of course. He's tried everything else, now he's fighting dirty.
We have no reason not to believe him.
And every reason to disbelieve my boys, I suppose.
I'm sorry we have to do this. Jason? You empty your pockets on the table, please?
Is this necessary?
You just take stuff out of your pockets.
Is it a lot, mate? Good.
It was those kids. It had to be.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Fisher, we don't have enough proof to charge them.
There's your proof.
Where did you get this from, Mr. Fisher?
On the doorstep. I nearly missed it. I dropped the bread straight on top of it when I saw the door open.
Now, Scott, we know that you and your brother collect footy cards. Would this be one of yours? You answer for the tape?
It's not mine.
Come on, mate. Just like these ones, the Saints.
Look, the boys dropped those all over the place. Fisher could have picked one up anywhere.
Interview suspended at 2:51 p.m. for Senior Constable Doyle to talk with Mrs. Ritchie. Do you mind if we have a quick chat outside?
Stay here, Scott.
Mrs. Ritchie, you're making things more difficult than they need to be.
I'm sorry.
And can I clarify some details with you? Is that all right?
Yes, of course.
Have Jason and Scott ever stolen from you?
No.
Are you sure?
Look, yes, but a long time ago. They don't do that anymore.
It's a question of who you believe, Maureen or Herbert.
And we already know that Maureen has been less than truthful.
Hang on, aren't we forgetting one little thing, like hard evidence?
Footy card.
Yeah, but how do we know that Mr. Grumpy didn't just find that in the street?
Oh, come on. Would Herbert Fisher perjure himself on account of a couple of kids?
Have you seen Herbert's latest contribution to the
Sorry.
Neighbourhood Watch newsletter?
Sorry, we've had a little accident.
We certainly have.
Okay.
Well, you mind?
The mother's room's out of operation, boss.
Then use PJ's office.
Yeah, Herbert's in there. Maureen's in the interview room. I could do it on the front counter if you like, but Falcon Price might come in.
All right, just be careful.
Here
I don't want to find any nasty little surprises on my desk. Yes, I've read it. What's your point?
Well, the point is that obviously he doesn't practice what he preaches, does he?
Let's continue this elsewhere.
Healthy
shall we?
bowels, Ginny. Good on you.
Smelly, baby, aren't you? Come on, let's get this nappy off you.
Kindly head that way, off the computer. People forget to lock up all the time.
Yeah, well, what if he didn't forget?
Are you saying he set the boys up?
Yeah, why not?
Ben, he's a pensioner. He'd hardly sacrifice $250 as
Hang on,
bait.
we've only ever got Herbert's word for it that the money ever existed.
No, we can verify that. He says that he took the money out of the ATM this morning. He didn't get a receipt, but the bank can check that.
All right. Okay. It's safe to go back in.
Well done.
Mrs. Ritchie, we do need to make further inquiries and we may need to speak to the boys again.
Look,
but
will you just tell me straight, please? Do I need to get legal help or not?
We're still looking for evidence that Jason and Scott were involved in the crime.
All right, thank you. That's all I need to know.
But as Senior Constable Doyle said, we're still making inquiries.
Inquire away. But you're not going to create any trouble at Human Services, are you? Look, Joe never wanted the boys. I'm glad he left. But, you know, I don't want there to be any trouble about our situation changing. Because Herbert Fisher's already made waves there and, you know, I don't want them getting the wrong idea.
Well, I'll be talking to Human Services myself, so I'll make sure they understand the situation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll organise somebody to run you and the children home.
Yeah, I'll do that if you like. I'm about to knock off anyway. Yeah?
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Good, come with me.
Alrighty.
Ride 'em, cowboy.
Yeehaw.
I wasn't expecting you back today, Cooper. How's the root canal?
Sorry?
Yeah, no, I was just telling the boss about how you had to go to the dentist.
Yeah, it was a false alarm, actually. It was a clean and scale.
Oh, then you'll feel up to staying back tonight and making up the time.
Boss, do you think I should have gone with Ben?
Can't mollycoddle him, Doyle, and he has been warned.
Hey, Jenny, how are you? How are you?
No, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support.
Oh, it's fine. Really, it's fine. It's all part of the service, really. Hey.
I don't think so, somehow.
Hey, Jay, Scott, how's the footy going?
Oh, it's grouse. Look, it's a Sharon. They cost heaps.
It's very generous of Senior Constable
Oh, look,
Stewart.
no, that's the least I could do.
Do you want to come out for a kick?
Yeah, go on.
Hey, guys, I've got my hands full at the
Oh,
moment.
really? It's fine by me. Please.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
grass.
come on.
Come on.
Maybe you'd like to stay for dinner after it.
Yeah, all right. Shut up, you little drop kicks. I've got an exam tomorrow. So what? Why don't you shut up?
Hey, it's all right, Scotty. Hey, Kim, what are you studying there?
Just what they make me do.
Yeah? You got any idea what you might want to do when you finish school?
Kim, look, if you want quiet, maybe you should take your books to your room. Look, I'd really like you to stay for dinner. My way of saying thanks. It's so good having somebody on my side. You know, the boys' side.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, g'day, sweetheart.
This is, Senior Constable Stewart.
Yeah, we've met. I thought maybe now's a good time to go out and fix that gutter for you.
Look, Joe, I don't want you coming in here whenever you feel like it.
Well, it's my house too. You can raise all the little brats you want, but she's still my little girl.
Could you leave,
I
please?
think it might be a good idea if you leave now and come back when you've sobered up a bit.
Don't tell me what to do, cobber.
Joe, could you please just leave now?
Dad, come on, please.
Got a nerve?
I'm sorry, he's not usually like that. He's under a bit of stress with the separation.
Hey, boys, come on. What about a game of footy, eh?
Yeah, right.
Come on. That's the way. Come on, the Saints. You tell them. Joe, what's your mate of, eh? Come on, handball it out. That's the way. Come on.
Come on, the Saints.
Come on.
The Saints go marching, yeah.
Guys, just play on, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Ritchie, I'm afraid I can't allow you to drive.
Yeah, well, I'll be the judge of that.
Sorry, I can't allow you to do that.
Right.
Hey, Jace, one of you boys want to race inside and get a cab?
First you crack onto my missus, then you throw me out of my own house.
She's not your missus anymore, Mr. Ritchie.
Thanks, Kath. Yep, bye.
Kath?
Yeah, from the bank. Telemachine operations.
Oh, Kath's working back late.
Yes, I asked her nicely. And we got a warrant too. Cash withdrawal from Mr. Fisher's account this morning, $250.
Yeah, I thought there might be. You don't think that Kath can match those serial numbers for us, do you?
No. But that transaction record should be enough to put Scott and Jason back in the picture.
Yeah, probably. Adam, you can probably go now.
Oh, the boss wanted me to work back
Oh, no,
late.
no, you go. You've done your time.
Oh, well, you're not acting sergeant yet, Mags.
It's in the bag. Now, you haven't escaped. The boss has changed the photo till tomorrow.
I'm all out of excuses unless I can find a reason to stay in bed just for a couple of days.
Oh, somehow I think the boss might get suspicious if we
Maggie.
both call in sick.
I'll take the risk.
See ya.
See you later.
So, what are you doing tonight?
I'm working till 10.
What about after 10?
Oh, I think there might be time for a little bit of romance back at your place.
What about Ben?
Ben, don't worry about Ben. He's at the Ritchie place playing Happy Fat and Noisy Not.
Senior, have you got the keys for the lockup? We've got an overnight
Yep.
guest here.
Hey, you can't do that.
Shut up. We'll interview him when he's calmed down enough to answer the charges.
What charges?
Drunk and assault.
Assault? Oh, that's a laugh. I walk in and catch him chatting on
Shut
my
up,
missus'
you.
knee.
Any more arguments out of you will be resisting arrest as well. Empty your pockets. Empty your pockets. Senior Constable Doyle. What did Mr. Herbert Fisher say about his missing money being in a brown envelope? $250.
Interview resumed at 8:14 p.m. Now, Joe, Senior Constable Stewart tells me that Herbert Fisher is a client of yours.
That's right. And I'm not in the habit of robbing my clients.
But you're in the habit of smacking coppers in the face, aren't you? So how did you come by his money?
Who says it's his?
Well, it's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? I mean, Mr. Fisher loses $250 in a brown envelope, and Senior Constable Stewart here finds it in your pocket.
Well, he always gives me my money in a brown envelope.
$250. Geez, you must have mowed his lawn a lot, eh?
We need to check that against your books, of course.
Oh, come on. You're not going to find it in there. Nobody puts cash jobs through the books these days.
Not to worry. I'm sure Mr. Fisher will remember it.
Well, anyway, it wasn't 250, it was just 50.
So what happened to the other 200?
Well, other clients pay me in cash.
And you put it all in the envelope with Mr. Fisher's money, did you?
Yeah.
What a coincidence, eh? All your clients pay you in cash in $50 notes, do they?
Come on, Joe. Where did you get the money?
Whoa, healthy bank balance. Pretty heavy wallet, too. The guy's obviously doing pretty well out of the gardener-come-handyman business.
It's a crazy thing to do, talk about biting the hand that feeds you.
Well, maybe greed wasn't the motive, Mags. Has he got any priors?
No, he's a clean skin, but what other motive could there be?
Well, from what you and Ben have told me, Joe's almost as keen to see the backs of those foster kids as Herbert. Mate, are you sure about keeping him overnight?
We ship him out to St David's.
And ship him back again in the morning.
Oh, you want to give him bail?
No way. No, we let him out. He's going to be straight to Maureen's place in a flash, and she doesn't need the hassle. More to the point, nor do those kids.
I'm only thinking of you, Benjamin.
Yeah, well, thanks for your concern, mate. I'll be fine. Actually, Maggie, can I get you to do this? I'm just getting my stuff. I'm a bit...
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
thanks.
Ice that eye, eh?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben, he's going to have to watch Joe all night. He's not going to get any sleep.
Cooper, McKinley, Doyle. Hasham, nice of you to put in an appearance.
What's this? Roll call?
No, I just want to make sure you're all present and accounted for. Where's Stuart?
Oh, he's bringing Joe Ritchie in.
Apparently he's changed his mind about where the money had came from.
Surprise, surprise.
All right, now listen up, everybody.
Thank you.
The photographer is coming at 10 o'clock and I want you all to be here. Nobody's to go out on patrol, no nicking off to get morning tea. I don't want you even to go outside for a breath of fresh air without clearing with me first,
Boss,
all right?
It's just one thing that you should...
Doyle, you look fine. You all look...
Morning, boss. Photo time?
Were you or were you not warned about becoming personally involved in this case?
Look, it's not what you think, OK?
We'd all like to do something for Mrs. Ritchie and those boys, but getting into a brawl isn't going to achieve anything.
It was hardly a brawl. Joe arced up because he had some stupid idea that I was trying to crack onto his wife.
Are you?
Oh, not you too.
Look, what I believe is immaterial, but this is Mount Thomas. Attitudes can be provincial, to say the least. Now, my advice to you is to stay right away from that family until this is all sorted out.
You're right, fair enough.
I just said that I wanted to talk to you guys again. I didn't say I was going to confess to a crime I didn't commit. Look, I know I got a bit carried away last night and, you know, I'd had a couple. I wasn't thinking, you know, very clearly, but it's all come back to me now.
All right, Joe, why don't you fascinate us and fill us in?
All right, okay. Yeah. Now, I had a windfall on the G's yesterday. That's why I got plastered. The money, well, I had that earmarked for a computer desk that Kim's been wanting. Now, I didn't want to get it confused with my other money, so I had one of Herbert's envelopes on me. I just put the money in the envelope.
$250. Well, was it a straight win on an outsider?
Daily double, actually.
Over the phone or in person?
Oh, in person. I went to the local TAB and there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, OK. Yeah, well, you should give us the numbers. We could do with a bit of a windfall around here.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We've got the Daddy Double at Kyneton with Harry O'Lyon and Dewhurst Molly, numbers 2 and 7.
Rightio, so he remembers the results from yesterday, but that doesn't mean that he backed them.
No, I agree, mate, but without a confession, we're stuffed.
Did anybody think to check with Herbert?
Yeah, he said he last paid him a couple of days ago and the money was in a brown envelope.
So even if we get a positive print ID, it's not going to help us very much.
Is
What about
my dad
TAB?
Oh, yeah,
Anybody
yes,
check
as a
with
matter of
them?
fact.
Ben, do you want to deal with this?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
She's been trying to ring him on the phone all night. She's worried something's happened.
Yeah, we decided that keeping him in overnight was in everyone's best interests.
What for? He wasn't doing anything wrong.
And we were talking to him about another matter.
My dad didn't take any money from Mr. Fisher. He had nothing to do with it.
Kim? Look, she's overwrought. She slept badly.
Look, if you want to hang around, we'll be finished with him soon.
No, we've got the boys in the car. We're on our way to school now. Come on.
I'll wait here.
Hello, Mount Thomas.
Fine, I'll be back later.
Yep.
Leave you suspended at 9 a.m. for Senior Detective Hasham to speak to Senior Constable Stewart.
Now, McKinley reckons that no one saw him come to the TAB.
I already told you they had to serve hundreds of people.
Yeah, well, not you, apparently.
That's enough.
Now, look,
Somebody did that burglary on the Fisher place yesterday and tried to make it look like Jason and Scott were responsible. Apart from Mr. Fisher himself, you're the only person I can think of with anything against those boys. Unless you can think of somebody else.
No.
Listen, Mr. Ritchie, whoever it was, I'm going to find them.
All right. Well, I did it. I admit it. It was me. I admit it.
Adam, you take some prints from Mr. Ritchie, please, then organise bail.
Mr. Ritchie, to me.
Dad!
Kim, you shouldn't be here.
Dad, I never wanted any of this.
It's going to be all right, honey. I promise. Everything will be all right.
Dad, I don't want to...
You go to school. I'll talk to you about it later. Go on.
Mr. Ritchie. Kim. You waiting for your mum, are you?
She'll be here in a minute.
Hey, how'd you know that we were inside talking to your dad about the burglary? How old are you, Kim?
15.
15, eh? Jeez. Can't have been easy. You know, being the only child for all those years, and then along come 3 other kids. Kids with problems. Kids who lie and steal. Kids who want to steal all the love that they can possibly take out of your mum. Now, I can understand that from where you and your dad were standing, it must have felt like there was no room left for you. Hey, listen to me. Now, you do realise that your parents still love you, don't you? Look, if I was your dad, I would be doing whatever I could do to protect you too. But the thing is, if that's what he's up to, can you live with it?
Right, is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Ritchie?
Not a thing.
Mr. Ritchie, here's a copy of your interview. I'll just leave that there for you.
Wait a sec. We're not finished with you, Joe. I want to talk to you again, mate.
I think we should have a word with Senior Sergeant Croydon. Ben?
Mr. Ritchie, have a seat, please.
Ben, what is your problem? Now, first you can't wait to nail the guy, then you can't wait to get him off the hook.
Look, he didn't do it, PJ. He's protecting his daughter.
What?
Well, it fits. We know that someone was trying to set up Jason and Scott, right? Well, Kim gains 3 siblings. She loses her father. Her whole world falls apart. She figures that if she can get rid of those 3 kids, she'll get her father back and everything will be the way it was before.
So she starts with the vandalism, and when that doesn't work, she goes for something that'll really make people sit up and take notice.
Stealing from Herbert Fisher, exactly.
So how did Joe Ritchie end up with the money?
Well, I saw them hugging each other goodbye yesterday afternoon. She probably slipped him the money then.
You know, they could have planned the whole thing together.
No, you saw the way that Joe reacted when he found out it was Herbert's money. He was as surprised as anyone.
So if he's protecting Kim, why didn't he fess up straight away?
Well, he probably thought there was some chance they could both get away with it. Then, when he realised that I was on to Kim this morning, he dobbed himself in so he could cover her up.
You got any proof, Ben?
No, but I don't think we'll have any trouble getting the truth out of Kim.
It sounds like you better have a bit of a chat to her.
Yeah, well, you need to be careful, Ben, because I think you're out of line.
Mrs. Ritchie.
Is there something wrong?
You bastard.
Hey, Mrs. Ritchie.
You come smarming up to me about presents for my boys. You pretend you're on outside.
Mrs. Ritchie, what's the problem?
Him. He molested my daughter.
Kim says you followed her out of the station and made suggestive remarks. When she tried to run, you grabbed her.
I mean, I did take her arm, but it was only trying to get the truth out of her. I certainly didn't say anything improper.
I suspect Kim's using this as a way to take the heat off. I'll make that point loud and clear to Falcon Price.
Does he have to be involved?
Your word against the girls and Mother screaming for police blood? There's no way I can keep him out of it.
It'll be tough on her, though.
Well, she's going to have to be prepared to tell her story.
Look, come on, have a heart. The poor thing, she's stuck
Having
between
a
rock and
heart
hard
is what
place.
got you into this mess in the first place. I'm sure if we just calm down, we can find a civilised solution to all this.
Oh, you call what he did to my daughter civilised?
We need to find out exactly what happened.
Kim has always been a good kid. She's never lied. She wouldn't lie about that, and she's not lying about anything else either.
Doyle?
Kim, I'm going to get a drink.
If you think you're going to sweep this under the carpet...
That's not what I'm suggesting.
What then?
Mrs. Ritchie, if Senior Constable Stewart has a case to answer, believe me, I will back you and Kim all the way.
Right, well, I want him in the room when she testifies.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. She may feel intimidated.
I want to see his face.
All right, if you're sure.
Mrs. Ritchie wants you there when the boss takes a formal statement from Kim.
Great.
Ben, don't worry about Kim. She can obviously look after herself.
No, she's a battler like a mum. She'll do whatever it takes to hang on to what's important.
Oh, and she's quite prepared to ruin your career in the process.
Maggie, the thing you've got to understand about kids is that when it all boils down, their needs are pretty simple. Food on the table, a roof over their head, and a mum or a dad hanging around when they really need them. Survival kit stuff, really. You deny a kid what they need, I guarantee you they're going to fight to get it back. Either that, I'll start looking for it somewhere else.
McKinley, could you organise some coffee, please?
Where's the toilet?
It's through here. Kim, there's nothing to worry about.
Always tell the truth and everything will be fine.
The truth doesn't always get you what you want, but lying's not the answer either. You end up hurting people you care about and people who care about you.
You're a cop, you have to say that.
Ben's got kids. Did you know that? He's got 2 girls and a boy. Now, how do you think they're going to feel about their dad when they find out about this? Toilet's through there.
Kim, I've just been explaining to your mother that the whole purpose of this exercise is to come to some understanding about this incident and see where we go from here, all right? Senior Constable Stewart, perhaps we'd better start with you.
My intentions were completely honourable. I was just trying to get through to Kim. I was hoping that she would confide in me. But if you misunderstood me, if I scared you or hurt you in any way, I'm deeply sorry.
Senior, intended or not, what you've just said could be viewed as an admission.
Yeah, I realise that. But perhaps if Kim and her mother would accept my apologies, then we can all just move on.
That'd be convenient, wouldn't it? Do you honestly expect an apology will make up for what you've done to Kim? You're going to let him get away with this scot-free?
Mrs. Ritchie, depending on what happens here today, Senior Constable Stewart could be facing disciplinary action, possibly even dismissal.
Well, it's your decision, love. You have to be happy with it.
No, I don't want him to apologise. He didn't do anything. I made it up.
Kim?
And I took old Fisher's money.
No, why?
It all seemed so simple. Scott and Jason would get the blame and you'd finally realise what a waste of space they were.
Kim, why did you give the money to your father?
Dad's got a lot of expenses now. He's in his own place.
Did he know where the money came from?
He didn't even know I'd put it there. He must have worked it out when you told him. I guess he didn't want to let me down.
Well, you would have saved him a lot of grief if you'd told us yourself.
I wanted to, but I knew Mum would hate me.
No, Kim, no.
That's the way it feels sometimes. Your whole life revolves around Scott, Jason and Ginny.
Sweetheart, they need me. That doesn't mean I don't want you.
To change nappies and help with dinner, maybe.
You're my daughter. I love you. Nothing can ever change that.
Kim, why did you make those allegations against Senior Constable Stewart?
Mum wanted to know what he'd said to make me so upset. It's the only thing I could think of. I'm sorry.
I thought we'd be, getting an apology from you. seems it's going to be the other way around. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Sorry. So, what's going to happen about Herbert's money?
We'll see that he gets it back. Now, you do realise that he may be called as a witness when the case goes to court?
That's not going to affect Kim's chances of bond, is it?
Oh, I doubt it, and I'm sure our senior constable Stuart will put in a good word.
Oh, maybe, maybe not. No, you'd be right.
Kim, everything all right?
Everything's fine, Dad.
Oh, baby.
If you've got time later, I'd appreciate you having a look at that gutter, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I hope I've made it clear to you that I don't approve of your personal involvement in police matters.
Yes, you certainly have.
However, I also have to say that you can give yourself a lot of credit where the Richies are concerned.
Thanks, boss. I do appreciate that.
You are a good copper, Stuart. But you've still got a lot to learn. Which is why I've decided to give you the acting sergeant's position. Nothing like a bit of pressure to knock you into shape.
Oh, thank you, boss.
Also, you do have seniority. But it's only on the proviso that you keep your personal feelings out of your police work.
Keep my personal feelings out, eh? Well, I keep telling my kids that you shouldn't make promises you can't keep, so I think you better give that job to Maggie.
All right, as you wish. I appreciate your honesty, but you're still going to have to learn to pull your head in.
Yeah. There is one other thing, boss. I mean, since Maggie's already got somewhere to live, do you think that I could take up the police residence?
Yeah, well, I don't see a problem. As long as it's all right with Acting Sergeant Doyle, of course.
Yeah. OK, thank you, boss. Oh, I'm glad you like it, mate. Yeah, I thought it'd be your kind of thing. Anyway, happy birthday, Josh. Yeah, soon, mate. Real soon, I promise. OK. You give my love to Maddie and Emma, won't you? OK. Yeah, me too, mate. Bye.
So, what did you get him in the end?
I went with the toy camera idea.
Speaking of cameras, Richard Elliott's coming first thing in the morning.
Oh, I just remembered, boss, I've got an appointment, root canal.
Oh, really? Would you catch that from Cooper, did you? I want you here. You'll have to cancel, and I want you here at about 9. No, you're on late shift.
You don't want me in it, boss, with this thing, do
Stuart,
you?
I want the whole team. Warts, black eyes and all.
You leave your warts at home, Cooper.
Oh, you look beautiful, Maggie. Come on, you thoughts. Oh, very impressive, Acting Sergeant Doyle.
Right.
Sergeant Doyle. Come on. Say police. Police.